Resolution of demonstrations, protest and hunger strike by the supporters of the Iranian resistance in Canada. 28 years ago, in the summer of 1988, in a horrific massacre and genocide, more than 30,000 political prisoners who were typically serving their sentences or their sentences had finished were handed the death sentence with the fatwa of the leader of the Mullah's regime. Publication of shocking audio tape in which the former heir to then Iranian regime Supreme Leader Khomeini, a meeting with the members of the Death Commission 28 years ago, reveals new information about the scope and breadth of the massacre of the political prisoners at the time. In the audio tape, Hossein Ali Montazeri, who was subsequently dismissed at the hire by the Khomeini for these very remarks, tells members of the Death Commission, Hossein Ali Nayeri, the regime's Sharia judge, and Mortaza Eshraqi, the regime's prosecutor, and Ibrahim Raisi, deputy prosecutor, and Mustafa Pur Mohammadi, representative of the Ministry of Intelligence and Security. He said the greatest crime committed during the reign of the Islamic Republic, for which history will condemn us, has been committed by you. You will be in the future in the annal of the history as criminal. He added, executing these people while there have been no new activities means that the entire judicial system has been at fault. In the meeting, Montazeri tells Pur Mohammadi that MOIS has planned this massacre many months before. The Ministry of Intelligence wanted to do it and had made investments on this. And Ahmad Khomeini had been personally saying for 3 or 4 years prior to the massacre that the MEK must be all executed, even if they read their newspapers, publications, and statements. He says, by adding, Mujahideen Khalq are not simply individuals. They represent an ideology and a school of thought. They represent a line of logic. One must respond to the wrong logic by presenting the right logic. One cannot resolve this through killing. Killing will only propagate and spread it. In remarking the members of the Death Commission, Montazeri says, for God's sake, it is the month of Muharram, the month of God and the Prophet. At least feel some shame from Imam Hussein, cutting off all meetings and suddenly engaging in such butchery. In something like this done anywhere else in the world, is this something like this done anywhere in the world? Beware of 50 years from now, when people will pass judgment on the leader and will say he was a bloodthirsty, brutal, and murderous leader. We will not be in power forever. As regards to the role of then head of the regime judiciary, Montazeri says, Mousavi Ardebili, who I know is the most liberal of all, saying during the Friday prayers that all of these people must be executed. And then people chant during the Friday prayers that the Mujahideen's prisoners must be executed. And when he wants to ask the Imam, instead of telling him that executions on such vast scale does not serve our interest and would be damaging, he asks whether we would execute them in the province or in the cities. In the audio, the member of the Death Commission admits that the families of many of those waiting to be executed had already been executed, and that they had been 15 or 16 years of age. Mustafa Pur Mohammadi is currently the Justice Minister in Hassan Rouhani's cabinet, and Hossein Ali Nagari is the current head of the Supreme Disciplinary Court for the judges. And Ibrahim Raisi was the clerical regime's prosecutor until several months ago, and has recently been appointed by Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei as the head of the Astana Quds Razavi Foundation, which is one of the most important political and economic powerhouses in the clerical regime. Now, the day of reckoning of these responsible for this massive crime and all their accomplices and all those who have been particularly served the clerical regime by their silence has arrived. Prosecutions of the perpetrators of this crime is the demand of the Iranian people and a necessity to prevent the reoccurrence of similar incidents anywhere in the world. The international community should end its silence in the face of this crime, which is the clear example of crime against humanity. Silence and inaction is absolutely unjustified. Given that the word of the Mr. Montazeri in the audio clip is a new and undeniable document showing the dimensions of this crime of the authorities of the religious dictatorship regime ruling Iran, on behalf of the families of the victims of this massacre and Iranian communities in the country, we urge the government of Canada, A, to recognize the massacre of 1988 as a crime against humanity and to strongly condemn it, as the unanimous motion of the Canadian Parliament did. B, our government representative in the United Nations Human Rights Council session in Geneva demands an international inquiry about this crime. Perpetrators and those who are responsible for this crime must be tried in international tribunal to face justice. C, our government leads the condemnation of this massacre in the resolution of the UN General Assembly this year. D, to take all necessary steps to prosecute those responsible for these crimes by International Criminal Court or the formation of international tribunal, including raising the issue at the UN Security Council for this purpose. Iran Democratic Association. Thank you.